Linda from paperboutique.blogspot.com. Whenever I teach classes, the #1 question is, what adhesive do you recommend? There are so many good adhesives on the market that it's difficult to only recommend a few. However, I'm going to give it a try. I would also love to hear from all of you as to your favorite adhesives. Well, let's go ahead and start with tape runners. We'll talk about glue in just a moment. My favorite tape runner is the Easy Stick Duck Runner that I purchased at Joann's. I usually get it with a coupon, and it's just a plain double stick adhesive that you can apply straight, as you can see here, or curved. And even though it shows white here, let me show you an open one. It's a clear adhesive, and I really like this. The downside is it's not a super adhesive. It's just for regular kind of wear and tear. This is a new adhesive I just purchased at Walmart, and it's also, I think you can see down here, but it's also a clear adhesive. This is a dot runner adhesive. What I like about the Elmer's dot runner is it's a higher tack, it's more sticky and a little bit more durable than the duck. I've asked Santa for a pink ATG gun for Christmas, and I certainly hope he's listening. Let me show you just a quick project that I would do if I were using a tape runner. I would just, like for this piece here that is just straight, I would use a tape runner. On the second layer I did dimensionals, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But just for simple projects, I love tape runners. When there are small layers involved, such as this project, it can get really challenging. My all-time favorite is Zig Pens, and they're a two-way glue pen, and let me open it and show you. The reason I like it is it has such a very fine point, and if you glue on something and it's still blue, when you put down the glue, it doesn't a permanent bond. If you wait until the glue dries, it's temporary. And what I like to do, especially when I'm trying to fit little layers together, I let this glue dry, and then I can move it around. And once I have it exactly where I want it, let me reach over here and get my favorite tool. I use my Pampered Chef roller, and I just roll over the top of it, and I get a super good adhesive with that. Whenever I'm using glue stick, and let me show you a project I made with glue stick. This is a portfolio I made several years ago, actually, and I use it. Whenever I'm using chipboard and paper, or even like this velveteen paper or suede paper, I always use a glue stick. I make sure that my glue stick is acid-free, but I've had equal luck using them from Office Depot, Staples, Walmart, Elmer's. The nice thing about using a glue stick with chipboard is there's very little moisture, so it won't warp the paper. Another question I get asked a lot is, what type of adhesive do you use for vellum? And I have an entire drawer, I should show you, full of adhesive that's designed to work with vellum, and it doesn't. My favorite is the Glue Dots vellum, and I'll just open this here. And I don't know that you'll be able to see it, but it's just like a row of dots, and I find it to work the best. It's not perfect, and it'll depend on your vellum, but I like it the best. When I'm doing something heavy duty, like assembling a box, or I did a video on this particular box on how to make this expandable card box, and you want something that's really durable and that will hold together, I use either score tape, or in this case, this is Wonder Tape. It's just super sticky, and it works really well for anything that's going to get a lot of wear and tear. I love glitter, and I make what's called glitter paste, and I also did a video on that, but I wanted to share with you what type of adhesive I use to get this full coverage, and then the glitter will not rub off. I mix glitter with glossy accents from Ranger, and the nice thing about the glossy accents is obviously it dries clear. It has a nice fine tip on it. You can use it to adhere embellishments. You can use it for if you want a glossy layer over the top of your cuts. And it also works super well if you're adhering beads and charms. Next, I want to talk a little bit about glue dots. I love my glue dots, and they come in all different sizes. They come in small, medium, large, extra large, and they also come the glue dots that you can use as pop dots. I don't have any to show you today, but they work really well if you're gluing down a button, if you're gluing embellishments. But I want to show you a project I did using the glue dots, but in retrospect, I wish I would have used a low temp glue gun. This is a project I did on my blog on a container storing my Cuttlebug folders, and I made Cuttlebug folders to go in it. But this particular container is going to get a lot of wear and tear, and I've noticed that when I'm using it, the buttons are falling off. And I did use the Zots with it, but I would recommend, if you're going to do something, use something that you're going to use all the time, do something a little bit more durable than glue dots, and maybe in this case a low temp glue gun. The other tool that I use probably way too much is what's called foam tape. There are pop dots on the market, and I'll just reach in and show you. This one's pretty well used. And you can purchase the pop dots, or you can purchase the foam tape. I prefer the foam tape because, as you can see, you can cut a little bit of this off, or you can cut a lot of it. And I like it, this particular thickness, because it gives more dimension on it. Let me show you this Halloween box that I made, and that's on my blog. I used, and I don't know if you can tell, I didn't get a lot of dimension, and I wanted to have more dimension on his face, but I used this particular type of pop dot, but I think it would have been better to use this. And I want to share just a couple of little tricks with you. My favorite tool, as I said before, is the Pampered Chef tool. I use it to adhere the paper together, and once I've used a glue stick, I use it on chipboard, both sides. I don't sell Pampered Chef, but if you do want one, I do know someone that does sell Pampered Chef. And I'd also like to share with you a quick little glue trick, and I think I shared this. Let's see, I need my glue stick. I think I shared this on one of my other videos. I don't know if you can see, but you've glued a card down, and you've got a piece like right in the middle here. There's where my finger, that hasn't adhered, a corner of a box that hasn't adhered, and you go, oh my goodness, what do I do? Well, what I do is open up a very firm glue stick, put quite a bit of glue, just, I don't know if you're able to see, kind of, I've got a little puddle of glue there. Then I open it up, and I wouldn't put it quite this thick depending on the spot to cover. Put it under, and then I hold firmly and pull it out, and then just hold down, or use my Pampered Chef tool, and it'll dry perfectly, and you won't see any of the glue at all. The last trick I want to share is when I put boxes together. Whoops, I'm going to drop my card. I like to use paper clips when like on the corners, to hold the two corners together when the glue is drying. I find they work really well. I also like to use binder clips when I'm adhering two pieces of paper together, particularly if I want a super good hold. Well, I would like to thank you for watching today, and please check out my blog at www.paperboutique.blogspot.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.